Excited to be here. Didn't know if my cowboy hat would fit in the camera, so I just went with a regular hat. So
Oh, we're so disappointed. We're so disappointed. The baseball cap looks cool too.
thank you.
So we do these webinars. We love to have panelists on because at Homestack we have access to some of the top teams, realtors, brokers in the nation. So it's really cool to get everybody together in these webinars and kind of pull from the resources. Something that's awesome about the Shawn team is that in spite of the past year's market, which has been fluctuating ups and downs, you guys have still been going strong, winning listings, and really kind of dominating your market. So
Yep.
let's get into a little bit about what's been going on. I think right now, the big question for many realtors
Yep.
is when sellers are staying put due to higher interest rates, lower inventory, how do you still win listings? So we're going to dig in a little bit about the strategies that you guys have done with the Shawn team.
Yep.
Get a little bit into some specifics and tools and, everything that you guys have been going on. But first and foremost, let's get into a little bit about who you are. And for anyone who doesn't know you, give us a little bit about your background and where your business is kind of today.
Yeah. So my name is Blake Shawn, team leader of the Shawn team. I'm probably going to be one of the more interesting speakers that you guys have because I'm unhinged and you never know what I'm going to say next. It don't matter what your question is. Sometimes it just goes off in right field. So I apologize for anyone that's going to be a struggle with. But besides that, I'm 32 years old. I love selling real estate. I've been in it 10 years. Started in property management and kind of worked my way up into sales and started with Keller Williams and then went to private brokerage, then created my own brokerage. And now I'm operating with real brokerage, kind of just like a satellite, but our team operates as a brokerage in and of itself. And really is why I started talking with you guys is because I needed my team to have the branding of a brokerage to be the local authority because you need that trust and people to understand it. And that level of technology is what did it for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, it's been very difficult for realtors to not only stay afloat, but grow within this market that's been happening. So,
Yeah.
what would you say are some of the things that, your team has been doing since you guys are kind of operating independently, almost like a brokerage,
Yep.
that have helped you to not only stay afloat, but to actually grow this past year?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would be lying if I said this year probably wasn't the hardest year of my life, like just complete honesty. And any of the realtors that are on here, I see 23 people on here right now. Like, if I was to say one thing to you, it's just that the goal of right now is not to get rich and thrive in all of the ways that Hollywood makes us feel real estate should be. But really, it's just to survive and figure out how do you provide value in a down market and still maintain the authority. Whether sales are up or down, it doesn't matter. You can be the authority in your local area when you have tools like the app, when you have an online presence, or if you just have a Rolodex with a lot of people that you're really good at calling a lot. I mean, it don't matter how you do your business, but it still comes down to how do I provide value for the people that do need to buy or sell? And then how do I maintain being relevant and top of mind for the people that don't? But that way I could still gain market share. And that's where my brain is. I don't need to have 100 personal sales this year for it to be a win. I need to get really deep in relationship with my vendors, which we'll talk about how we're doing that with the app. And I need to get really deep with the communities that I serve, whether that's the city itself, the chamber, the events. And then this app and the technology that you have really just validates who you are and gives people that level of trust, whether they know you or not. Just because you have an app, people are like, oh, yeah, they're legit. Like literally, it can be that simple sometimes for people's minds. But when you are able to kind of pile everything up on each other, it's just an unfair advantage. And that's what I always say to my team. I want our team to have the unfair advantage when we go into any listing appointment, when we go and talk to someone, like our reputation and our team and our brand should supersede us. So that's kind of where I focus right now. Because sales are still, they're down, you know, they're not what they were.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, especially when things are down, it's hard to get your mind around like, what's going to give me this like immediate ROI.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you have to play the long game.
It is all about the long game.
Yeah.
Especially with this app. Like if we're going to focus on the technology and the tool of this app, if you're looking for a quick fix for your business, yeah, you can make some cool stuff. Like we did, you can go on our Instagram. You can see that we did this whole like week leading up to, and then the big drop, like, hey, yeah, it's our app. It was really, really cool. And you guys can build momentum out of thin air simply by deciding to get the app. But the real long game in it is how do you continue to utilize it as a funnel in all of your other marketing and then changing your mindset. So this is big for me because they preach to you in real estate, CRM, 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 grow your database, grow your network, all that. And I agree with all of it. However, since technology has changed, the CRM, in my opinion, is secondary to the technology that's catching the information. At one time, it was that CRM catching it for you on all of these different online funnels. Now it's like, man, you have to have an app to get in front of people every single day. That old method still works for a certain amount of the population, but the new trending larger population that is going to want the technology the way they want it, it's going to be in the form of an app. So I knew it was inevitable. I was going to have a branded app for my real estate team at some point. And anyone that is still on the fence about that, make your jump and just understand that at some point you will have to have a branded app. Not pitching Homestack or anyone else other than that's just the reality of every team leader, I think, if you want to maintain relevancy in the real estate market in the next 10 years. That simple.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the aha moment where you kind of realized that you needed an app?
Really, it just came down to I consider us more boutique at this point. At one time, we were a really big group. We brought in all the new agents, and we've kind of shifted that a little bit simply because this is not the market or the time to necessarily spend all of our energy on time on new agents that have a 70 to 90% rate of failure. That's the harsh reality.
Yeah.
And I know I hate just saying it, I'm an optimist, so even when I say truth that's negative, it like gets in my head. Like I hate saying that, but that's the reality. And I had to deal with that harsh reality as a team leader in this hard year. So
yeah. Yeah. So how important is it that your app and your CRM, you guys use CRM, I believe, Sierra Interactive. How important is it that everything kind of integrates together, talks to each other? Now that you are kind of flipping the script and getting the app in front of people first.
Yep. Well, so the question there, Rachel, was what again? Sorry.
But how important is it that everything integrates together?
Oh, just it creates such streamline. I mean, for a team leader's perspective, there's a peace of mind attached to it, knowing that my agents have some individuality through the app, but that at the end of the day, the app backend and my CRM is still catching all of the info. So we're able to utilize it on a larger platform in regards to email marketing campaigns. If we wanted to do targeted ads, we have still that centralized database in 2 locations for my marketing team or whoever to have access to and work.
Yeah, yeah, because sometimes somebody will download your app or respond to something, but then you have to kind of build that relationship over time, especially in today's market.
Totally. And that's where the app just feels more personal. Like there's no I do it with, and I even, well, maybe I'll wait till some of the tips and tricks, but open houses, everything, like you literally have the app in your hand. So when you're living your life, you can grow your database and your network in a way that seems more organic than when you try to use the old methods now, because now it seems like you're selling something. When it's just the app, it's a lot friendlier. I'm able to be more of myself requesting things when I'm just utilizing the app, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Give us like your top 3 tips for, getting people to download it.
Yep.
First off.
Okay, so number one, open houses. You don't need a sign-in sheet. You just need them to download your app. And by doing that, it gives them the access to all of the houses that they already have access to, all of the open house info on that property and all of the others, but then also the extra things that we've added onto our app, the home buyer guide, the home seller guide, we have home and auto insurance. Sometimes if someone's really cold, I'll just say, hey, download the app because you get discounts on your insurance when you use us. And that way it pivots all of the pressure off of me to sell something into, hey, just download something that gives you value for free. And that's really what I think the consumer wants. So however you can work your language to get the consumer to understand that you're giving them something for free. Hey, if you decide to buy or sell something in the future, great, whatever. But I'm going to really slow play that because I know my marketing team is going to be kicking out push notifications once every week or once every other week. There's going to be little strategic things that we're going to grow that relationship, whether he realizes, that open house person, that I'm growing it or not. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we're going to do.
So let's talk about push notifications. I think maybe like a couple years ago, people were like, these notifications that are coming from apps, like, I don't know what to do with these or what they are.
Yeah.
And now, I love getting the updates from my Target app or from Amazon about that thing in my cart that went on sale on Black Friday, right? And they keep you kind of coming back for more.
Yeah.
How does it help you to stand out? And a push notification, guys, are those, little banners that kind of pop up from your apps that you have, that will let you know about sales, that will let you know about open houses, that will let you know about anything coming from your apps.
Yep.
It kind of breaks through the noise from email. I think
Yes,
people get so many emails in this day and age.
they do.
And
I think the bigger thing that you just hit on, Rachel, when you think of app notifications, you do think of what? Big corporations, big stores, places that you trust and use every single day. So it's the same mentality and the whole gist of a push notification. I don't care if they disregard it or not. The idea that subconsciously happens in that consumer's head is that you are affiliated and tied into something that is bigger than you. So it takes a lot of this individual sales pressure off of you. It allows the team and the brand to start doing what it's doing without you having to do all of the work. Salesmanship is dead in many ways. You have to be able to provide value without having to open up this too much before.
yeah.
And so that's how I do it.
Yeah. We're definitely living in a different time. What are consumers expecting now of their realtor? 2023 going into 2024. What are they going to expect as part of the experience?
They expect you to at least be able to match the technology and information that they have available to them. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Like, at the most basic level,
Yeah.
we have to provide value as a realtor. And if they can go to other apps and get the same info without you, how do you provide your value outside of the service and the transaction itself? But at that point, it's too late. You have to catch them over here in the beginning part.
Yeah, because people are creatures of habit, right? Whatever they start searching on, like if they're going to Zillow, then they're like gravitating towards Zillow. If they go to the Shawn Team app, they're going to want to keep going back to the Shawn Team. And it is personalized, and they're going to be getting more of a concierge service.
Totally.
Through that.
And they can.
Yeah.
I was going to say they can do, if someone said, well, I have Zillow, I'll say that's awesome. You can keep it downloaded. The only difference is instead of them selling your information on the back end to 3 to 5 other realtors that are going to harass you as soon as you give your info, you're going to be specialized to one on the Shawn team that's local. And you can actually pick from the list of agents that we have. If you know someone, great. If you don't, we'll assign you to one, but it's just going to be a lot less salesy and a lot less hassle for you.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it kind of warms them up.
Yes, that's all it does.
Right?
It's not the closer, it's the opener. You still have to close. The agent still has to be the closer in the deal, but the app gets you all the way there to make it really easy.
Yeah. So I'm going to pop open the app actually and check out. It's so much easier to see stuff. what I'm talking about when I talk about custom push notifications. So again, those are the little banners that pop up. They pop up on your phone, you know, from either Target, my cart's calling me back. But we just got this one from the Shawn team earlier today, which was really cool to see. That's my Amazon cart. Be merry with the Shawn team. And then when I click on it, whoop, whoop, takes me right to their Christmas YouTube video, which I love.
On the corner of Kern and Payne, the holiday season goes from scary to merry. A family can find not one house in sight, of which to spend.
Definitely check them out, the Shawn team on YouTube. Give them a follow, guys, because they have some really awesome videos. And we'll talk about the video content in a minute. This was another one that I thought was really cool. Homes in Tulare under 350K. Check out these houses.
Yep.
And then when I clicked on it, it sent me this really nice list of all of the houses that are available. Like if I'm one of your clients and I'm a really active buyer, then I'm going to want to get all of these updates like right to my phone popping up, right?
Yeah.
I don't, it's hard to dig through emails of, you know, the 5 million Black Friday emails that I got last week. Like, so,
right.
you know, and then they're all stored nicely right in the alerts. Another really cool feature for on the listing side are all these purple pins are the Shawn team listings. It puts all of the Shawn team listings right at the top of the feed. And there's also this filter that I could filter by Shawn team listings, which is super cool. So again, personalizing and putting your listings and the agent first. What goes into marketing a Shawn team listing?
Yeah. So, I mean, typically, you mean like in regards to pre-market, like what is our strategy essentially?
Yeah. Like, how do you think you guys are winning listings over the competition?
So I'll give you two examples on this one. The first example, and this is just because it shows the power, I think, of just having a high value proposition as an agent or being a part of a team that has a high value proposition. I got offered to go interview for a multiple, it was a listing here in Tulare. And the agent that I was up against found out that I was the one he was up against and just canceled because he knows what our app does and he knows what my listing presentation is with my app. And I don't even call it a listing presentation. I've never practiced it once. I call everything that I do a conversation. It takes the pressure off of my head and the salesy stuff that turns people off. So I let them know I'm not going to sell you guys anything. I'm just going to give you guys your options and have a conversation about what we can provide you. And I typically say, hey, before I even get going on, after I look at their house, I say, hey, do you mind opening up your phone for me? Like, yeah, can you go to your app store? Can you type in the Shawn team? And I have them download the app right there before we even start our appointment. So while that's downloading for them, I'll make sure both parties are downloading it. I want both parties on there because I want them both to see the value that it has. And then while they're downloading it, then I'm talking about the neighborhood comps, you know, their house, what it has versus the other ones. But then once that's downloaded, I'll say, hey, is that app downloaded now? Cool. Can you pull that up for me real quick? Oh, sweet. What are those purple ones? Okay. Oh, those are the Shawn team's listings. So any Shawn team listing has its own color. They pop out at you. So we know that all of our 400 users that are active right now in the area are going to be seeing that first. But then something that I really want to do for you guys, because I know you're interviewing other agents and brokerages, I just want you to know that when you list with the Shawn team, you're actually able to get the pre-marketing started several days before we go live. And what that does for you is it gets some activity built up so that when we do go live and run our first open house, we should have some decent traffic that otherwise would have taken a week or two to get. Does that sound good to you guys?
Sounds good to me. I'm sold.
There you go.
No, I love that though. I love that. You really come through, like it's you and it's your authenticity, obviously.
Yeah.
You know your market and your community 100%.
Yep.
And you guys have really established your authority in your community, like you talked about before. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
What have you guys done? You guys have an awesome social media presence. You invest a lot in your video, which I think a lot of realtors want to do, but they're either intimidated to do it, or again, they're not seeing that like instant ROI. But again, over time, you're building that authority and you're building that community presence.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the importance of building this personal brand that you guys have built and what it's done for your reputation and in the community.
Yeah. So, the first part is a lot of people get into real estate for whatever reason, but it's a lot of me mentality. And when that me mentality exists, we know there's a lot of pride and a lot of ego in there. And guys, I know you don't want to hear this, but a lot of that pride and ego is what's blocking you from getting on the camera. And I can tell you guys, because I know you've been on the other receiving end of this. You've watched one of your friends or family members, and it might even make you cringe a little bit while you're watching it. But at the back of your head, you're like, you know what? Good for them for making a video, for putting themselves out there. And I can tell you, that's how you take market share, is you put yourself out there just a little bit. And I'm usually honest with it. Like, hey guys, I'm a little nervous today. I got a lot of anxiety cooking with all the stuff going on, but I just want you to know that I'm here for you. The Shawn team's here. You know, like, I'm real honest, because if I'm not honest and vulnerable up front, anything I say after that is coming from a place of not me. It's not true. So treat your video as a place to just be weird, kill your ego in the process, and then gain new friends. Like, people that actually might be, they won't judge you for doing a video. And if they would, you don't want to be friends with those people, man. Like, it's time to start checking our groups, you know? And if you do a video and you lose friends because of it, I can tell you, you're better off. Like, I just think with the market being down like this, I'm seeing what agents are for real or not.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if you think about it, how in real life do you start to trust someone? How do you start to relate to someone? It's by being vulnerable.
Yep.
It's by being yourself and being open.
Yep.
You know, and Christoph Chu told us, he's like, what you look like in real life is also what you look like on camera. Like, that's just what you look like, right? Like, so it doesn't matter. Like, just get on the camera. And I think it becomes more natural and more comfortable the more you do it.
It does. And even if it doesn't, I know successful real estate agents who are not savvy like me and getting and talking and doing camera. One of the top teams in Texas. I remember I flew out and I checked out their office. He was doing 1,400 homes a year, which at that time was the top. And it's probably still, it's just a crazy amount. But you met this guy and he's an introvert. You have to pull stuff out of him. Yet he still does get in front of the camera and do these little things, fully leaning into that he's an introvert. Like, I don't like to be in front of the camera, but it's so important that you guys understand what's going on in your local market. Can you see how you being vulnerable and then looking into the camera and saying, as much as I don't want to be on this camera right now, I need you guys to know what's going on locally because it's important to me and you and your family matter to me. And then you speak. Like, there's just power in that. And so he channeled who he was. He understood it. He knew he wasn't made for the camera, but he did it anyway because the people that he served were that important to him. If you do nothing else but get in front of a camera and let people know how important they are, I can guarantee you if you stuttered, spit, did whatever, they don't care. So maybe to get confident and comfortable, you need to get really solidified on your content. And if you really believe in it, do you believe in this? Because if you don't, then why are you doing it? If you do, then muster up whatever courage you have and put it out for the world. You have to, it's your job.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming from a place of service.
Yep.
And spitting on camera. No, I'm just kidding.
Getting all over. Don't matter, man. You know?
Be yourself. Be yourself.
That's right. I spit a lot and I whistle through my front teeth like the beaver on Winnie the Pooh.
That's really cool. So give us one of your best like app connection stories that you've had since you guys have gotten the app.
Yeah, so the best ones always come from the movie theater. So I've had several instances. I get random messages, calls, texts from people like, dude, I just saw you in the movie theater. For one, we run an ad at the movie theater. It's really cool, but we have a QR code that people can download our app. So we have people downloading our app from the movie theater, from, wherever. The movie theater is our main local funnel because when you're on the big screen, you are literally the local celebrity. Like, you are. And so the QR code in the app. But anyway, I had one person write me. It was a son of another real estate agent that works at another brokerage. And he was like, there is no one that is talking to the community that like the way that you guys do. And the fact that I watched a real estate ad and was able to laugh a little bit, like, I wish my dad would come work for you guys. Like that's literally like the kinds of random things that we get.
So you're recruiting also with the app.
It's a recruiter, and I tell people we're not accepting anyone, and it works even better, gets even more people, but in general,
that's hysterical. Oh my gosh. So you guys are taking out ads in your local movie theater.
Yep.
And you're running the ad with your app QR code on it.
Yep.
That's genius.
Maybe.
That's awesome.
I guess we'll see.
Time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing that you guys are doing that we talked a little bit about early on was putting some of your vendors in the app.
Yes.
And some of your like Good Housekeeping, seal of approval. These are the people that you work with all the time in your community. Talk a little bit about, first of all, how kind of connecting with those vendors helps you in your community. And then we'll kind of show how you put them in the app.
Yeah. So, and we're working on some of the biggest ones. I wanted to show proof of concept. So before I go to my vendors, and this is good for any team leader, I think, to hear, I know simply because of my influence in the area, I could go to them and say, hey, I need $1,500 a month, but there's no real relationship. There's not the deeper thing that I'm after. And so what we're trying to do is we're working on insurance right now. So for the last year, I think we've been with you guys a year, Rachel, right around there. So we've tried to get the user count up. We've created all of the content pieces that you'll see on our Instagram, our Facebook, the movie theater, because you have to sell your vendors too. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to sell my vendors and then have my pick of who I actually wanted. So instead of just as soon as I got the app rushing out and getting vendors, I said, I'm going to just sit as hard as it was this last year in the down market and not go out and ask for money. I'm going to sit knowing that it's a down market. I'm going to create content that provides value to the community. And then I'm going to have activity and data to show my vendors what it's worth to them or what it could potentially be worth. Yeah. So right now we're sitting around 300 or 400 active users. We have a lender who is wanting to come on. We have an insurance agent that just agreed to come on. And then we're going to do a home inspector. And honestly, anyone else that we think has it make sense. But the whole goal here is just to provide a one-stop shop for our clients. A person should be able to buy their house with us, sell their house with us, get their home and auto insurance, home inspect, anything that has to do with the process that they come into the Shawn team with, they should be able to get serviced on every level.
Yeah. So this is kind of what we're talking about. If you guys have a pro account, you can get the custom links in your app. So this is like a totally customizable section. You guys can put your social media in here like the Shawn team has. If you guys want to follow them, definitely follow the Shawn team. They are a super fun team. They have a lot of really cool, like we were talking about, strong branding, but awesome video content that'll make you laugh. So follow them, Shawn Team RE on Insta. But going back to the app, these are the vendors that they put in there. You can put like Blake was saying, your auto people in there. Any of your buyer or seller guides, you guys can put your attorneys in there. Yep. Your lenders, like anybody again that you trust and that you want to have these kind of longer partnerships with.
Yeah.
Because you're really giving them a direct referral. If people are seeing them in here, and like you were saying, if you're just kind of trying to get people in the app too who aren't really ready to buy or sell, but they want access to some of your resources, it's another way to kind of provide some value with the app as well.
Those buyer and seller guides are so perfect for it. So I used to carry around binders or folders with just buyers or sellers guides, and I would drop them off, or if I had a conversation that I felt like could be a buyer, I'd give it to them. But now it's made my life easy. The same exact process that I told you guys, hey, can you pull out your phone real quick at the listing appointment? If I'm talking to someone at a showing, if I'm talking to someone, it don't matter where, it's that same process. Hey, I know you're not looking to buy or sell right now, but if you ever wanted information without having to talk to me again, and I laugh at that stuff, like, if you don't want to talk to an annoying dude like me again, just download my app, and I actually created a buyer's guide that you can read. For me, it's kind of boring, but hey, if you need help falling asleep at night, I think this might be a great tool for you. And then we laugh and then go on about our day. And
I love it, but I just literally access this entire buyer's guide like right from your app.
yep.
Like it's awesome.
Yep.
Somebody just said, hi, Omar. He said, are you open to sharing your movie theater ad?
Oh, yeah, of course. If you want to go on our Instagram, I think you can see it. I just don't know if it'll be that big.
Yeah. Is it on YouTube too?
It is on YouTube, yeah.
Okay, so if we go to Insta, Shawn team, is it one of the ones that's
third one pinned right there?
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. They have a lot of awesome videos, guys. So if you get on here,
there's a team that can handle the mess.
You guys can kind of explore. They have an awesome video about their app too. I just liked it.
Shorty, house becomes a home. All right, how's that?
That was perfect.
It's a little bit too much.
Yeah, full city.
And then that QR
You
code.
guys haven't gotten in trouble yet, right?
I know, right? So what we found,
We won't jinx it. We won't jinx it.
That was a parody on the Nationwide.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do parodies a lot because parodies stick in people's head, and once again associates me with something bigger than what I am. So that's why a parody for Nationwide, I'm putting that in a movie theater. I'm more than likely activating everyone's subconscious because they've heard that at some point. And so as long as it's in parody form, you're able to utilize stuff like that. But that's why we had to have that little clip at the end saying, hey, was that too much like, so we're acknowledging it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's hysterical. I literally like laugh out loud at your guys' videos. It's awesome.
Sometimes I get so nervous I can't even watch the stuff. So when we're talking about being on camera, I don't watch half of the stuff that I produce because it makes me too nervous, makes me cringe.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to like look at yourself, but you do it. Like you do it, right?
Yeah.
And then you're bold enough to put it in a movie theater.
Hey, roll the dice. You know, if there's ever a season to roll the dice as a realtor, it's right now. Just go for it.
Yeah. So that brings me to like another mindset question. So people are just in ruts right now, right? Like, what's your advice to kind of bust out people from that rut, get into a better mindset, whether it's your team members, to kind of get them going? What would be some good advice to kind of bust them out of that mindset and kind of get out of a rut?
I think this is tough. I mean, I can tell you this year has made me look internally more than I have in a long time. And I'll just start by saying, for people who are in a rut, maybe you're in a rut for just some self-reflection time. And this is not a hippie guru thing. This is just the reality that sometimes seasons of life are not what we want them to be, but they're what they need to be to grow us into who we're supposed to be. And so a lot of the questions that come up, like as I'm stressing on this year, how are we going to keep feeding our agents? How are we going to keep all of this stuff? It's like, for one, I can only give what I have to give. So take an inventory of yourself. If you're trying to pour yourself out for everybody else and you're empty, You're pouring from an empty cup. So you probably do need to take just a sec to figure out what it's going to take to fill your cup back up so that you can run over onto people. I have not, as much as you guys are seeing all this stuff of mine and, we're applauding all this stuff, guys, I got wrecked this year. I had awesome agents who just thought that they needed to go do something on their own because there just wasn't enough to go around. And I know people on here are feeling the same exact way. And we're just kind of in a state right now where we just need to be patient and know that it will get better. But that, man, if we have this opportunity to look inside and ask hard questions of ourselves, ask them now. Because I think next year is going to be great. We won't have as much time to. So don't shy away from all of this heaviness right now, because that's what I typically try to do. I try to get so damn busy that I get out of my feels, when really a lot of us just need to feel for just a sec, then take a deep breath and be like, okay, 2024 is right around the corner and we got this. I am not alone. I am not the only one struggling. Even the top team leaders around the country are struggling and taking L's month after month after month after month, simply because we know if we hold on, we're gonna win. We're gonna win, period. Those that hold on win. So hold on.
I love that. And sometimes it's okay to take time and think about what's working and what's not working and mixing it up.
Try something new. Try just for the sake of trying. Like, hey, if those standard posts that you've been making for the last 2 years aren't producing what they did in the beginning, it's probably because it's time to mix something up.
I think sometimes it can be discouraging. Like an agent will post like one post or one video and they're like, I didn't get 1,000 likes.
Right.
I'm never doing that again. Right. And it's like, you got to mix it up.
You do. And even some of what I found, and this is probably good for some people to hear too, some of the most impactful conversations I've had with people about the content that the Shawn team creates are from people who saw the video but didn't like it, didn't comment on it, didn't do whatever. They're watching us. When real estate agents realize that we've been given a platform that a lot of people look at, and you have that opportunity to do some good with it, like, man, I promise you, you're focusing on the right things. You're going to be blessed. But us in real estate, we just focus on houses so damn much, we forget people. We forget that we're a consumer too. What do I like watching? What do I laugh at? What do I, all of this stuff. But then we get marketing mode and it's like, well, we need to do this because our industry has this and this other real estate team says all of the home buying tips every week. Like, nah, dude, like if you don't find value from that yourself, figure out what you do find value in, what you do believe in, and then post that. I think people just skip this part and go straight to posting, which is okay sometimes, but look at your strategy. Do you like what you're producing? And if you don't, ask yourself, what can I do to make this better? And then try again.
And social media is free. It's free.
It is the cheapest.
What have you got to lose?
Yep.
What have you got to lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We had a couple. You guys can feel free to throw any questions in. We're gonna kind of open it up to Q&A. One question just came through. Would you mind sharing your open house icebreaker to get people to download your app?
Yeah. So I think my second time around probably won't be good as the first. Whenever the video comes out, I think we kind of went over it a little bit. But how I like to do it is when someone's walking in, I always have to create a pattern interrupt. And this just don't matter if it's an open house, the first time I'm meeting someone, I have to create a pattern interrupt in their world, because if I don't, I am just a robot. I am not a human being yet to the other person. So what will I do sometimes? You guys are going to laugh at this, but I do random stuff. Like I might be in the kitchen knowing someone's going to walk through the front door, and I'm clapping. I'm clapping in the kitchen as they come up. Be like, oh my gosh, you are my first open house people to walk in. I've been here for 3 hours and you're the first ones. I am so happy you're here. How are you doing today? Like lean in, like, cool. I just took control of the conversation is what I did.
Yeah.
And because I'm in that vein now, they're going to answer how they're doing. And then I'm going to go straight into, awesome. Can you pull out your phone real quick? Because I already got them there. I pattern interrupted them. I broke whatever script they had in their head of how they were going to avoid me. I broke that. So, and this is where pattern interrupts are really, really powerful and good, but you have to be really confident in whatever you're doing. So you guys could see how my personality can be doing funny, goofy stuff, and that's how I break the ice. But you can do it in your own way too. You could be out by the mailbox walking up, and you accidentally step on a crack or something. Oh my gosh, I almost broke my back right now. Did you guys see that? Oh, it's so embarrassing. Come on in. I'm so excited for you guys to look at it. It doesn't matter whatever you do, but you have to do something. Because if you don't do anything, they are in control. They're the script writers, and now you're doing what they want to do, period. And they don't want to download your app.
Yeah, and then it's like the moment passed, missed opportunity.
Moment passed. So when it's create a pattern interrupt, and I wish I could think of some other examples. Sometimes it's just a big smile and like, man, what a year.
Right?
Yeah. Like, you know, like connect as a human being before you connect as a realtor is maybe the best way of me saying what I'm saying. And however you like having that happen to you, maybe you just try that at your open house.
Yeah. All right, guys, any other questions? Pop them into Q&A. And while we're going with that too, I'm just going to pop up your Instagram again.
Yep.
For YouTube. Where can everybody find the Shawn team? On Instagram, Shawn Team RE. YouTube's great too. Because you guys, how do you guys come up with your video like concepts? Is it like a brainstorming sesh? Does one person have an idea?
It depends, but typically it's in some sort of brainstorming session or random thought that I have, a random idea.
Because I was just trying to think that as we were coming on here. And you have a podcast as well?
Yeah, we did have one. I haven't been on it in a little bit. We did 2 seasons and then stopped that particular one.
Yeah. Look at this one. 4.6K views on this
Scroll
video.
down to our
do you guys do any like YouTube ad buys?
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about.
Yeah.
There
23K views.
Yeah. So how we did this
survival mode.
Sorry.
Whole life having
ads.
Love it, you know.
See if I can get past that ad. Oh, there we go. It's queuing up. So yeah, tell us a little bit back about what we were going to talk about with the YouTube ads.
Yeah, so the minimum ad spend on YouTube, they don't actually have one, huh? I think we spent $333 a month for 3 months on that ad that with the 23,000 views. So less than $1,000 on the YouTube ad spend. Probably got 20 to 50 downloads from it. And that one was directed at sellers. So we have different ad audiences even within the app because we're appealing not only to buyers, but also to sellers. So we try to have a mix of our content, making sure that we're feeding both audiences and that both are still winning.
And I think sometimes people forget that YouTube is like the second largest search engine.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, there's Facebook ads, then there's, you know, there's Google and then YouTube. Yep. Which is awesome, especially if you're creating content, obviously. But even if you just want to try something different, you know.
Totally. And a lot of this, it's good that you guys can see I don't have 1 million views on everything. But the people that are looking at the ads as soon as they go on here and see a library full of content and just some videos of me, once again, they don't have to watch your videos for them to see, oh, this dude's just legit and he's all about what he's about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Because-
no like trust factor.
No, no. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Any last words of wisdom that you want to leave with anyone before we pop off?
Man, I would just say everyone on this, if you are here, super thankful for you. Thankful for you guys listening to me. Follow along with us. And yeah, just love to connect with you guys if you're hurting in this season. If there's anything the Shawn team that can provide that'll help give you some confidence or some content ideas, we're an open book. Homestack, thank you guys for everything, and we're just gonna keep pumping it out.
Awesome. One last question that came in.
Yeah.
Do you create your ads on your phone or with a video team? I thought this was a good one, so I just wanted
Yeah,
to see.
it is. So we have it's just one videographer does this stuff. So
But when you started, were you using a video team or were you
Yeah.
just kind of flipping it open with the phone?
doing the phone, man.
Yeah, yeah. So
Doing the phone.
don't hesitate. Start with the phone. Don't get intimidated by high production value.
Yep.
Flip open the phone, do a house tour, do a community tour. All that kind of stuff is always good.
Or something I just thought of, and maybe this is a great start for people who haven't done video before. Pick something that you're passionate about outside of real estate and make it a weekly thing. Every Wednesday, do whatever that is for you. For us, it's Wednesday Word, and that's just a staple, and it's every week. It's going to be a video. So I don't know, that helps too, because a lot of times we get in like content mode and it's just real estate stuff, and you realize that people only care about real estate once every 7 years
Yeah.
for a couple months, like when they make their move, like that's it. So you have to figure out like how else can you connect with people, and it's easiest to connect with people that are already connected to things that you like. So maybe just putting that out publicly is going to help you get your tribe.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And consistency too.
Consistency, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Blake, for being here with us today. Everybody
You're
follow
welcome.
the Shawn team, Instagram, Facebook. We'll link everything when we post this. Happy apping, everybody, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.